Hey guys, today we're back with another video. I'm going to be pushing top ladder in this video. We're going to be going for around top 500. So we're in the first game against Royale Gerald. He's playing the Cannoneer Tower, so that should be a nice advantage for us as the Evo barrel gets really good value against it. So it looks like he's playing probably RG. Although I'm not sure because he did play the bomber, but usually Phoenix is used in RG or maybe a mortar deck. So he plays the Rage, so I'm not sure if it's RG anymore, but it could still be a weird... Okay, so it is RG. He's playing RG Bomber Rage, so I think it's a good sign that he has Rage, because it might be his only small spell, and then it'll actually be really difficult for him to defend properly, because he only really has the Bomber and the Rage spell, which is not really good defense against the Goblin Barrel, especially with the Cannoneer and the Evo Barrel. So it's looking like a pretty good matchup so far. Nice and easy Inferno Tower counter. Also, if he has the Rage, maybe he's got a Void as well, but he probably doesn't have a reset for the Inferno Tower. Alright, so he kind of outcycled us here, which is a bit unfortunate. Kind of a mistake on our end. He does play a bit of a bad Rage. Look, if he'd waited to play the Rage right till then, he would have actually killed the Goblin Gang entirely, and he would have gotten way more damage, but we're still looking fine. We're even on damage here, and we kind of know his deck now, which is a really good advantage, since I think it's a pretty good matchup for us. So here I'm guessing he'll just Phoenix. Okay, he decides to play the guards on the princess instead. That's fine, we'll just log it to prevent taking too much damage. And we're just gonna cycle to the Evo barrel now, probably forcing out either a bomber or a Phoenix. So he plays the Phoenix, so he's definitely gonna bomber on this, and we can just play the Evo Knight to tank the Phoenix on the left. Because we can just Inferno Tower on the RG on the right. We're going to play it low so that the Inferno Tower won't get distracted by the Phoenix. And we will actually get a pretty nice King Tower activation here, although it doesn't really matter in this matchup too much. So, in this matchup generally, you just want to play, I want to say kind of passive until you get to the Evo Barrel, because that's when you can really pressure him properly and get the right value and stuff. Also, it's a really good thing in this match that he doesn't have the Royal Ghost, because I feel like the Royal Ghost is what really makes the matchup, good for the RG players against Logbait. But here we actually get a really nice Evo barrel, because he played the Evo barrel, no, sorry, the Rage on the wrong barrel. He played it on the real one, which was really nice for us. So we got quite a bit of damage there, and he's kind of struggling to defend, as you can see. He doesn't really have a good way of killing the princess, so we're just constantly protecting it and spamming barrels in front. As you can see here, he gets quite a nice E-Spirit Rage, but still he had to spend 6 elixir because he had to spend the Fisherman as well. And he still had to guards on the princess on the right, so he doesn't really have a single moment to actually go in and pressure us, so we're looking really good so far. Now we're actually back to another Evo barrel, and I don't think he'll be able to defend this, because we can just gang on the right, play the Evo barrel, force out the Evo bomber on the right, and we're going to get a lot of damage on the left, because the princess is splashing as well. So we actually get him down to rocket range here, and we're going to take the first game. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Hey guys, so we found the next game against Nico, not really sure how to pronounce it, but we're just going to start off this game by playing the Ice Spirit and Goblin Barrel. Really just one of my favorite plays, just cycling to the Goblin Barrel, and it's always nice to pair it with the Ice Spirit, especially if they don't have log in hand first play. You can easily get 1 or 2, maybe even 3 hits and sneak those in. So he's got log and Ice Spirit, so at this point I'm thinking it's probably going to be Hog Rider, Hog 2.6, but since he played the Firecracker, I'm pretty certain it's going to be Hog EQ. And fortunately for us, the princess actually splashes, so we get some nice free damage. And I think that knight was a bit of an overcommitment on my part, but I played the Ice Spirit to make sure that we actually damage the Mighty Miner, so that the knight won't be completely wasted. And then I think splitting the gang here is a good move, forcing out the ability while not allowing him to kill the princess with the ability, so we still force out the log. Now here we can play another Goblin Barrel, cycling to the Evo, and we're ready with the Inferno Tower for his Hog Rider. We're just going to log the Ice Spirit, because you really don't want to take any unnecessary damage in this matchup. You want to keep your defenses as clean as possible, because it can get pretty close. Just going to take the free king tower activation against the firecracker with the ice spirit. Always want to activate your king tower as quickly as possible. Even sometimes I think if you have to take a bit of damage to get the king tower activation at the start, it's just going to help out a ton when defending the Hog EQ combo. So here he kind of got a really nice Evo Firecracker, because he outcycled us a bit and we had to play the gang. And he actually gets 2 shots with the Evo Firecracker, which was really good for him. So we're going to have to make a nice comeback in this one, because we're down 1,200 damage. But the good thing is that we have the princess down on the field. I was expecting him to Tesla here, so I placed the Ice Bird. Which, by the way, guys, the Tesla no longer one-spirits the Ice Bird, so it's really good to play the Ice Bird at the bridge if they have a Tesla. But yeah, we get a really nice Evo Barrel here, forcing him to play the log on the left, so we actually even out the damage on the right by forcing him to ignore the Goblin Barrel completely. And here we're just going to play the Inferno Tower to counter the Mighty Miner, because I expected him to Hog Rider as well. And we can just log and gang on it late to counter it. And I think that was a bad Ice Bridge, should have used it to just distract the Firecracker instead, but the Knight works as well, and we get a nice counter push here. Although we don't really force out that much elixir, but we do get the Firecracker down to log range, so that if he does go in, we can log it. But I don't think we actually need to, since he did play the Hog Rider, so we just played the Inferno Tower. So as you can see, we're kind of falling behind in damage again, so at this point I realize, we're gonna need to rocket cycle soon, so I kind of set up with a knight in the back, cycling to the Evo. Don't want to play into his lane, because then he can just use it for a counter push. Fortunately, the log hits the Firecracker, so we can kill it off with an Ice Bird. And here we're in a really good spot. He overcommitted with that Hog Firecracker, because the Inferno Tower got so much value, and we got a really positive elixir trade there. So here I played the Evo Knight to kill off the Evo Tesla as quickly as possible, because it's impossible to go in as long as the Evo Tesla is on the field. So I think here we're in a really good spot. We placed the Ice Spirit to delay his ability, and we almost managed to save the princess. Unfortunately, we didn't quite manage to do it, but we still force out the log on the left, and we actually get still a lot of damage there. Kind of a bad princess on my part, since he did play the Mighty Miner. But we're going to be back to another Goblin Barrel here, and he doesn't have a log. He doesn't have a login cycle, so we'll have to play the Firecracker. Unfortunately, he gets a really nice Firecracker since we played it in the front, so we don't get any damage there. But as you can see with the Evo Barrel from before, we kind of caught up in damage, so we're only down by 200 now. So we're still looking fine to win this one. And as you can see, our damage is kind of spread evenly, well, somewhat evenly, 350 damage difference, but it's not too bad, which just still means that we can get some good value from the Evo Barrel. But at this point I decided it's time to rocket cycle, because we're down about 400 damage, so we need to get some damage back. And here I just tried to sneak in a princess quickly, and it actually does work. We do get a full shot from the princess, which is really, really good. It actually puts us right in the lead. So at this point he's in the range of 2 rockets and 2 logs. So kind of a bad Hog Rider on his part there, playing it right into the Inferno Tower. So we're going to sneak in a quick princess here, allowing him to get 1 shot, but we get the princess shot, which puts him into rocket log range, and we actually get the last princess shot as well. So yeah, that's going to be a nice win against a pretty difficult matchup, I'd say. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Hey guys, we found our next game against T-Cloud Dragon here. Once again, I'm playing with the Cannoneer Tower, so the Evo Barrel should get some really good value. Just gonna cycle to it first play. He plays the Goblin Gang, so it's either gonna be a mirror matchup, or he's gonna be playing a spammy bait deck, or it's gonna be a recruit's bait deck. Kind of a bad princess on his part, because my princess actually ends up killing his princess, which gives me a really good momentum to counter push, because he still has to respond to the princess, right? So it's going to be one of those recruit decks. I hate those matchups, because they just spam so much, and they usually always have arrows. Yep, there it is, which are just really annoying. But hopefully we can manage to win it anyway. We did get a pretty decent start with him just wasting the recruits at the bridge, but at the same time we did have to spend quite a bit of elixir. So in this matchup, I think it's important to get good value out of your princesses. You kind of want to, get some defensive value from your princess, and then you want to still bait out the arrows after getting the value, and then you want to try to get a counter push with preferably with the Evo Barrel. So here we try to predict his Dart Goblin, but we actually end up predicting his Bandit, so we go in on the right side and on the left as well with the Evo Barrel. which gets some pretty nice damage on both lanes since he does have the Cannoneer Tower, and on top of that the Princess will actually kill the Cannon card. So we can just play a Princess on that Goblin Gang, and then play the Evo Knight on the Princess on the left, and then we're actually just gonna keep pushing, because he doesn't have much besides from arrows, yeah, and he ends up playing a defensive Goblin Barrel, and he'll have to arrows last second, and then we can get a Goblin Barrel down. But we're just gonna wait a second in case he does start Goblin on the Princess. So here it actually was a bit unfortunate. He gets a really nice defense with that Bandit, no damage. But luckily the Princess on the right side is kind of just shooting away on the tower, getting it down to 2000 HP. And the damage on our towers end up being sort of evened out, and we're still ahead by 1000, so we're still looking pretty good. Just setting up with an Evo Knight in the back, opposite lane of the Princess, and I really like to rocket the cannon cards off the field if it's possible to hit the tower as well, because they get a lot of value if the if the card ends up dying in a place where it can still shoot something. It just gets too much value in my opinion. So if it's possible to rocket it off the board, I think that's always going to be really good, especially since you get the tower damage as well. So kind of a bad Dark Goblin on his part, just right into the Goblin Gang, and I'm going to predict his Princess here, because I feel like he'll go in. Really nice prediction, and we can kill it off with the Evo Knight, and we could get a really good Evo Barrel push out with the Evo Knight. So, look at all the damage we got on the left lane. We get the tower down to 1000 HP, and the right side almost down to the same, so we're still in the lead by even more than 1000 now. He gets a good set of arrows down there, but it shouldn't be enough for him yet. Just gonna Ice Spirit here in case he decides to Princess, and also to distract the Dart Goblin a bit. I know we're gonna take some damage here, but I really don't want to overcommit. I just want to be able to defend at all times against his spam. So here we get a really nice lock and a quick Princess down before he can react to it, so we actually get a start out to rocket range, and we win the next game. I'll see you guys in the next one. We found our game here against Noble Boy, so we've kind of got a nice push going here. I think this is the game for 2400. So we get a nice Goblin Gang Ice Spirit here. Whenever you face Hog Rider first play, if you have the Goblin Gang in rotation, it's always really good to play it as the counter, because you actually get the counter push. And later in the game, if you use the Goblin Gang, it's usually quite easy to predict for them with log, fireball, firecracker, anything. But in the beginning, it's kind of hard to predict, so it usually gets pretty good value. Right here, he had to waste the log on it as well. So really aggressive rocket from him here. So we even out the damage with Princess Goblin Barrel at the bridge. And it looks like he's playing Hog X. He's just gonna Ice Spirit to prevent most of the damage. Unfortunately, I played the Ice Spirit too late. I should have played it earlier so that he wouldn't have gotten any damage, because there was no point in taking that damage. And I preferably want to go opposite lane of him. But it is what it is. We're still looking alright, even in damage here. So I think this matchup can be a bit tricky, because they have the Exonado on offense, and they have really good defense with the Valkyrie and the Log and the Goblins. But yeah, the Executioner on offense can definitely get a bit tricky, especially in doubles. You don't want to let them build up too much of a push with the Xe, Valkyrie, Hog Rider, Nado, and stuff like that. So you kind of just want to keep them on their toes, just pressure them most of the time. So here I'm just going to play the Knight in response to the Valkyrie, and I kind of want a Princess opposite lane, but I'm not really sure, so I think I'll just play it defensively. Really nice Princess there with the Ice Spirit, killing off the Goblins and getting the Knight as a counter push. And here I'm going to go aggressive, because he doesn't have the Valkyrie in cycle. So we're going to play the Evo Barrel, and he does end up tornadoing the right side and getting the King Tier activation, but he'll still have to respond to that Princess, forcing him to waste an Evo Valkyrie, which is really good for us. So we can just play her Evo Knight on that, and you see that Evo Valk is actually getting some tornado damage, but it's not really important because it's opposite lane, so it's alright. We'll just Princess the bridge, unfortunately right into the Hog Rider, but it's alright since he did end up wasting his log on it. So he doesn't have log and cycle, so we're just going to pressure him with an Ice Spirit, see what he's going to do. He plays an Ice Spirit on his own, and I'm completely fine with that, because I'm just cycling to my Evo Barrel at this point, because the Evo Barrel is going to be a really good opportunity to actually get damage. And he keeps playing the Goblins within tower range for the log, so we get some really nice chip damage with the log where we hit the Goblins as well. But yeah, anyway, good defense here with the Inferno Tower. That's the good thing about this matchup. It's hard for him to break through the Inferno Tower unless he's somehow outcycles us, which rarely is going to happen unless we mess up or overcommit or stuff like that. But yeah, he goes for a really aggressive rocket here. We're just going to mirror it, and once again, we get the free log on the tower because he played the goblins. It's a 2-for-2 trade, but we get the tower damage, so that's just a stupid play by him. And he's going really aggressive here with the rocket cycle, so I can either try to punish him here, or I can just keep mirroring his rockets, and I think that my defense is going to be strong enough that I can actually just keep rocket cycling him here, and we get a really nice rocket actually hitting the Valkyrie. I just had a feeling that he was going to play something there, so I decided to rocket the opposite lane. You know, you always want to switch things up. Just never stay predictable, right? So just switch up your rocket spots, because, you know, you might hit something. You could get lucky like I did right there. So we're still ahead by 600, looking really good. He plays, I mean, not a bad Evo Valkyrie, but it's also not great. So here I obviously expect him to Tornado. So I kind of log it, and I think the Evo Valkyrie actually messed up the Tornado so that he didn't get much value from it. He didn't get any tower damage at the very least, which is the most important thing. And here we get a really nice Goblin Gang +1 Princess shot, which actually full counters the Hog Rider. I'm not sure if it's the general interaction or if it's just because the Hog Rider got pushed by the Goblin Gang in an unfortunate way, but either way it got full countered, and we're looking really good here. So the damage is actually evened out in both lanes now. He has no login cycle, and we're kind of just pressuring him both lanes here, cycling back to another Goblin barrel. He Valkyries right into the Inferno Tower, which is really bad for him, and he's not back to the log yet. Okay, my mistake. He actually was back to the log there, but we're gonna keep pressuring him with the Goblin Gang so he can't rocket. And if we both just get one more rocket down at this point, we're going to win the game. So that's sort of the goal. And here I actually did rocket the left lane, but that was because I kind of switched lanes to the left because I wanted to pressure him there. And as you see here, for some reason he decided to log the right side with of the barrel, and we get some really good chip damage with the real Goblin Barrel on the left side. So really nice win there against a tricky matchup. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.